everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to the back to school readathon vlog. So it is Saturday and this readathon started yesterday, but we have had the busiest couple days and it's just kind of going to be that way. Yesterday my big kids had tennis, which means it's a couple hours because it's like back to back to back, and then we went birthday shopping for the baby afterwards, and like we just have been go, and today is my baby's birthday, and so my family is up here, and also this is a Chiefs game. They're playing on a Saturday. It's preseason, so yeah, it's in the middle of the day too, so we're watching that, and it's just been crazy. But I have managed to read some. So I read, my first one was Meet Me at the Lake by Carley, and this was for social studies because this is multiple timelines. And so this is about Fern and Will, I think are their names, Fern and Will. They meet when they are in their early 20s, and they have this like whirlwind day where they are together, and they're both with other people at the time. They're both dating other people, which is problem number one that I had with this book, because this is going to be kind of a hot take. So they're both with other people, whatever, and they agree to meet up 1 year later. And Fern goes and Will does not. He stands her up, does not meet her 1 year later. 10 years later, they're in their early 30s, and this Fern is still kind of pining after Will. Will comes back into her life, and it's a second chance romance. Now, you guys, you had 1 day together, and 10 years later, you're still all hung up on this guy. Like, I think common sense would say, like, hey, if he didn't show up a year later, he's just not that into you. Even though that's not what the case was. Of course, there were alternate reasons why he didn't show up and what was going on with him. But, like, get over it. I don't know. Maybe I'm a skeptic, but like, are you serious? And maybe that sounds really harsh, but so that right in and of itself, I like had a really hard time shipping this couple. Then I honestly did not like either of them. Like, Fern was really wishy-washy and like obnoxious, but also like really flat at the same time. Like, who is Fern? She's got like no personality. And Will, there is a discussion at the end of this that's talking about postpartum anxiety, and Will is an anxiety sufferer, and I really appreciated that. That is something that I relate to. I have anxiety as well. Like, I relate to that. I feel empathy for him, kind of. But the rest of this, he's 32 years old in the present day, and he acts like he's 12. Like, he's possessive, he's he's jealous, he's whiny. He's just like, I don't like him at all. And like, both of these people communicate. It's not that hard when you're in your like 30s, and like, what do you have to lose? You guys aren't in each other's lives anyway. Like, just communicate. And I don't know, I didn't really like this book at all. You could see I like Carley Fortune's writing style. I guess I like the idea of it. You also get like interspersed journal entries from Fern's mother. Fern's mother has died, and so she's back in her hometown, like taking care of her resort. And you get journal entries, and it's meant, I think, just to add some depth because it talks about who Fern's dad is. But I didn't care at all. I didn't feel like it added that much. Like, this just was a big ol' miss for me. So, not a fan of this. The other thing that I am currently reading is a physical read that I have from the library, so I don't have that long to read it. So I'm really hoping I can get it done this week. But it is Who We Are Now by Lauryn Chamberlin. I think I talked about this in this came out maybe in August. I don't know, maybe last month. I can't remember. I think it came out this summer. Anywho, it's from the library, and it is about 4 friends who the prologue is you're at one of their funerals. The year is 2018. You're at one of their funerals, and we don't know who. And then it jumps back to they were all roommates, and they graduated from college at Northwestern University in Chicago in 2006 or something like that. They graduated, and then it follows their lives and what happens to each of them after. 3 of them go to New York. 1 stays in Chicago. And we're just getting kind of every year from all of their perspectives. And I'm loving it. Like, if you don't like this kind of story, maybe you wouldn't like that. Like, because there's not, like, I feel like I can't really say there's a whole lot else happening. But I love these people. I'm in love with this friend group. I'm really, really enjoying it. And this counts for science because it's got a sun on the cover. So, or a moon. I don't know. Is that the sun or the moon? I'm not really sure. But both count. So this, I'm hoping I'm like, what am I, 116 pages through, and it's only like 350 or so. So I should be able to get this done this week. But you guys, it is just madness. Today, like I said, my family's up here. It's the baby's birthday. We're going to continue to celebrate, continue to watch the Chiefs, do all those things. And then it is also a really beautiful day. We have had like 110 with heat indexes of like 125. Like, I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating, and I'm talking Fahrenheit. Like, heat indexes of 125. We've had like 80 to 90% humidity. Well, today it's like 75 and beautiful. So we're gonna take naps because last night we had a little summer storm, and so my big kids woke up and then got them settled back down, and then the baby woke up because she is popping so many teeth that her teeth were really hurting. So yeah, it was a really long night. So we're gonna take some naps and then do something outside. You guys, I have, so she's one, and so there, like I told my family that we did not need anything because she's the third kid. Like, there's toys everywhere. We don't need anything. And yet there's still stuff like everywhere. I came up with a couple of little ideas, and they came up with a couple of little ideas. And so my house looks like a bomb went off. But I think this weekend is just going to be for enjoying the weekend, enjoying each other's company, enjoying the weather, and, yeah, the rest will wait. So I hope to read during nap time, but I might fall asleep because, like I said, it was a long night. So I'm going to stop rambling, and I will check in later. Hey, everyone. It is the next day, and I would love to say I am feeling a little less crazy, a little less frazzled, but that is not the case. Sundays are great days, but we go to the early service of church, or we try to, which always makes our mornings really frantic, but the late service always makes lunch really late, and it's just, either way, lose-lose. But I started A Salted Caramel by Amanda Flower, and this counts for the prompt of lunch because it's a cozy mystery, and I think it has recipes in it. I'm hoping. Otherwise, I might be wrong, but I think it does. Let's see. Now, yes, here's a recipe. Anyway, this is about a woman who goes back to her grandma and grandpa's Amish community because he is sick, and she is a chocolatier. He owns like a dessert shop of some sort, and so she's going back, and then of course somebody ends up dead, and she is the one who finds the body, so she's one of the suspects. Her grandpa is also her grandparents are some of the suspects because the man who is dead is somebody who was trying to buy like this whole strip of buildings, including the grandpa's, and he was like a really aggressive dude. So anyway, I would tell you guys that I love cozy mysteries, and I don't know why. Like, I'm basing that off of very little time reading actually reading cozy mysteries, because I just don't read them that often. And part of it is because I don't like mass market paperbacks. And so, like, physically reading them. I also am not a series person, and so it's like overwhelming to me when I pick up a book that has like 10 or 12 or 20 books in the series, and I feel like compulsively I have to read them all. And so I think that's why, maybe, and not like I'm starting to question everything, because I like this is fine. I'm just not like I don't understand really why she's a suspect. Yes, she found the body, but like they're saying she's got motive because she's protecting her grandpa, and she's like, excuse me, so I'm going to come into town, kill this dude, and then go back. Like, no, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense. And the police are almost like comical. She is definitely playing our amateur sleuth, and I don't know. It's fine. It's just very cheesy. So I'm enjoying it, but it'll probably be like a 3-star for me. So that is where we're at with that. And today I'm going to go make lunch now. And then go take naps. It's cloudy and stuff. And you guys, I don't know if you just heard that, but my kids have a motorcycle, like a remote control motorcycle Spider-Man, and it has like a mind of its own. It just like will randomly be like, meh, meh, and like move a little bit, and it freaks me out. And Jeremy, my husband, has tried to like explain the radio waves and stuff of why it does it, but it freaks me out, and it just is like over there in the room next to me, like rah, rah, and just wiggling. But anyway, that is it. So I'm gonna go make lunch, do naps, and yes, it's another nap day. It's Sunday. It's happening. I hope anyway. And yeah, I'll update you when I finish this. Hey everyone, so it's the next day, and if you can hear the cicadas are going, but today has been a busy day again. One of my kids had physical therapy, and so that took most of our morning, and yeah, that's really what we've been doing. So last night I finished a salted caramel, and I like this. I'm gonna give it like 3 stars, and I'm kind of wondering with Cozy Mysteries, maybe I don't like when our main person is a suspect, or like this one, it just definitely felt like a reach for our main character Bailey to be a suspect, because like I said, she would have had to like fly in town just to do this, and like it's just silly, and the cops were silly. And the amateur sleuthing is what you expect, so that wasn't really bothering me. But like then in the end we find out the whodunit, but the motive is like a little meh. And I'm just not sure I know I love some cozy mysteries. This wasn't it for me, and I'm not 100% sure why, but like I need to do some more digging into cozy mysteries to figure out like what is kind of my niche. I liked that it was foodie related. So she helped with, okay, I can't remember what I said, but like last time I updated, but this is about her grandpa owns a chocolate or a candy shop, and he's Amish, and there's like a main street that's a bunch of different businesses, and this man is trying to come through and buy all the businesses, and he's really aggressive about it. I don't know exactly how he's like buying these businesses, like how he's getting people to do it against their will, but again, another part where you kind of had to stretch your imagination. And so the motive supposedly for her is that she was protecting her grandpa's business, but she like flew into town because her grandpa is really sick. Her grandpa's also a suspect, but he's really sick, so those seem silly. And the murdered guy, the guy who is trying to build or buy all these properties, his son is about to get married, and they were going to have a candy tasting or whatever. And so she continues to work for that wedding, and her friend Cass from New York comes to help her, and I really like Cass, and like I like that. And in the end, she makes kind of a career decision that kind of shows how the rest of the series will go, and it's cute enough. This one was just a little too cheesy for me, a little too far-fetched, and I don't think I'll continue on in the series. So next, I started You've Been Volunteered by Laurie Gelman, which is class mom number 2. And you guys, I don't know why I love this series. I have read number 1 and 3. I've never read number 2. And this is for English, which is in a school setting. So now the premise of the series, in the first one, class mom, this gal, her kid's in like kindergarten or first grade, and she says she'll be the class mom. So she works at the PTA and all that kind of stuff, but she's very much not your typical PTA class mom, and she is crass. Well, not crass necessarily, but like crass is definitely not the right word, because I don't like crass, but she's blunt. She is like sarcastic, she's silly, just does not take it seriously at all, and it's hilarious. And Laurie Gelman, she is not from Kansas City, and yet all these books are set in Kansas City, like in my neighborhood, and some of the stuff she gets really right, and some of the stuff she doesn't at all, so it's a little bit annoying. But like in the beginning of this one, she says something about like, people of Kansas City, like, thanks for letting me write about your city, now stop sending me hate mail, because there are things that she gets wrong, but it's funny, and like it's just, I don't know why, this is like my brain candy. I love these books. So I'm already like halfway through, and it's just exactly what I need right now, especially being super busy. This is just perfect. I am loving it. I mean, it's not going to be a 5-star read. So now her kid's in 3rd grade, and she's back to being class mom. She took some time off, and now she's back. And yeah, just working with the PTA, trying to set up like crossing guard stuff, and it's just funny. I don't know, it's just funny, it's relatable. I really enjoy it. So that's what's going on here. I will update when I finish this. Hey everyone, so I just pulled in my garage because my mom came up today as kind of a survival help. We told my daughter, because my middle daughter slept through the night in her own bed, and she has, like, they're called okay to wake clocks. If you haven't heard of them, they like turn green when it's okay for them to get out of bed. because she used to be my sleep-in kid. She is not anymore. And so she was getting out of bed at like ungodly hours and getting up in the middle of the night a bunch of times. And last night was the first night in forever that she has done it. And so I told her that my mom is up here to celebrate. But really, my mom is up here because I have had a migraine since like Saturday afternoon. Don't know why. Don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything. And yesterday I spiked fever, and now the fever's gone. So I don't really know what is going on. I'm just not feeling 100%. And you guys know, like, when mama's down, nothing happens. Nothing like, nothing really changes except that like laundry and all that kind of stuff piles up. And so she's here just on survival mode. But I'm feeling better today, and I just dropped her and the kids off at a playground, and now I'm coming home to do some work because she helped do laundry and stuff this morning, and now I'm going to clean for the next hour while they're there. But last night, I finished a few things. So let's see. First, we'll talk about You've Been Volunteered. I finished this. I don't really have anything to add from what I was saying before, except it was cute. I really enjoy this series. It's like a funny, just funny. It's just funny and lighthearted and quick. I like it. I also finished my physical read, which I feel like deserves a massive pat on the back because today is Tuesday and I started it Friday, I think. That's the day this readathon started, and I have finished it, which normally physical reading takes me a while. And this is Who We Are Now by Lauryn Chamberlin. And so I think I maybe hinted that I was reading this. Did I talk about this at all? I don't know. It starts in 2000. The prologue is 2018, and somebody is dead, and the three other friends are grieving this death. We don't know who's dead. We don't know who's grieving. We don't know any of that. So, and we don't know how anything happened, but this is definitely not like thrillery at all. That's 2018. So it jumps back. 2006 is when they graduated from Northwestern University in Chicago. And so and they were all roommates. We meet them at that time. We kind of start to fall, like, I opened this book and I was like, I am ready to fall in love with this friend group. And I think I did. There's four of them. So Clarissa is an aspiring comic who kind of finds her outlet on YouTube, which was interesting. It's so fascinating to me how being a YouTuber is a full-time job for people, and just the world we live in is so different. I didn't even discover YouTube until 2017, I think. Like, I didn't even know it was a thing, really. So it's just mind-boggling to me that I'm so, one, behind in the times, and two, that's like a full I'm not invalidating it at all. Anyway, that's a ramble that I don't need to get on. It's crazy. I just am so old. But anyway, so Clarissa, comic, she's an aspiring comic, finds her outlet on YouTube. Then there's Dev, who he is kind of aimless. You know, he's a pretty boy, party boy. Not really sure what he wants to do with his life, but he becomes a writer and a published author, and then so that's his story. And then we've got Rachel, she was the one that I feel really I feel like I can relate to. There you go. She's kind of high strung, a little, definitely a planner, a lot type A, and she so 3 of the 4 go to New York as soon as they graduate. And so she goes and starts working for the New Yorker magazine, and she, I would say, follows the most like American dream. Well, not American dream, because she's not the most successful, but like she gets married eventually, that kind of stuff. Nate is the other one. He becomes a Wall Street guy, just in time for the 2009 recession. And so there's that storyline. And so we follow each of them and how their friendship kind of ebbs and flows and changes over the years. And it goes all the way, like we see all the way from 2006 to 2018, when we get to the funeral. So I really liked this story. I definitely, I would say Rachel and Dev's characters were the ones that I was most interested in. Nate and Clarissa's, maybe a little bit less so. And I feel like the reason is because in their stories, I felt like we were told a lot more than we were shown. And I don't feel like we got to know them quite as well. And I don't know why that is. So there are a lot of trigger warnings in this. There's talks, so Clarissa is queer. And so there's talks about her family not accepting that. And I really wanted more from that. I wanted to know either internal or external processing of what that was like for her as she chose to let them know, and like how that worked out for her. Like, I feel like we just didn't get in on that. And then Nate, there's also substance abuse issues, and again, I feel like we were told about that, and we were told about everything involving that, but we weren't shown the feelings. Like, I did not ever feel like a rock bottom from him, and yet I felt like we knew Dev and Rachel really well. And so, I don't know, I think maybe just a little bit more development would have been good. This is only like, well, only like 330 pages, and I honestly feel like it could have been more like 400 to kind of give us a little bit more of that development. So, in general, I really enjoyed this book, and I was right about who died. Like, I had a guess kind of early on who it would be, and I was right, and yet it was still heartbreaking when it happened. And I was in love with this friend group, and I, like, it just kind of, it's one of those books that the end comes and you're like, whoa. Like, I knew this was coming, obviously, because you're watching the years tick by, but like, whoa. And I really like the exploration of just friendship over the years. So if they graduated in 2000, so say they were 22 in 2006, so, you know, then they're in their mid to late 30s. It explores friendship at that time, and how friendships can look so different, and just like it just ebbs and flows throughout life, you know, as life happens. And I really like that conversation. So like I said, trigger warnings for sexuality coming out, that kind of stuff not being accepted, substance abuse, race, or rape, race issues, some race issues, although that is a minor part. I'm trying to think of any other trigger warnings. Definitely look them up, because there are some in here. But I really enjoyed this book and would definitely recommend. So, and at the end, Rachel has kind of like a road not taken, kind of like mind spiral that, again, I felt very relatable, because sometimes, like, I think about things that then I'm like, and nobody else, like, if I tried to communicate this to anybody else, they wouldn't really understand what I was talking about. But like, what would happen if something had been different? And like, is one choice really better than the other, or are they just different? You know, I don't know. And I really like that. So if you've read this, let me know. I want to talk about it. But those are the things I finished. So now, what am I reading? Let's see. And let's see. This one was for English, because it's a school setting. And this one is for science. Whoop, that's not going to help you. Science, which is a sun, moon, or stars on the cover. It's got, I don't know if that's the sun or the moon coming up over the buildings, but there's that. Let me find what I'm reading now. Okay, so what I'm reading now is Learning to Swim by Sarah J. Henry, autographed copy. I wish they wouldn't have put that sticker right in the middle, though. But this is a strange one. So this one is, let's see, it's short too. It is not very long, and I am already feeling like, because I'm only like maybe a quarter of the way through, and I'm already feeling like I wish there was more, because this woman basically starts, she's waiting for a ferry, and the ferry's coming in, and she sees like a little boy be thrown over or jump over or something, and so she dives in. Well, she must be on the outgoing ferry as another one's coming in, and so she jumps off, dives in to rescue this little boy. She takes this little boy home, basically, because she like calls the cops. Nobody really cares, but like, it seemed very fleeting. And so she takes this little boy home. He only speaks French, and he's like, it says he's like 5 years old. This kid looks significantly older than 5 years old, but she takes it upon herself to find his parents and see if it's worth sending him back, or if she's gonna keep him. And like, there's really no conversation around the morality of like, do you have the right, lady? Like, and like, what are you doing? This child needs to be like reported. But his family is potentially involved in some dangerous stuff, and so she is deciding within herself if she thinks it's best for this child to keep him or send him back. And it's interesting. It's strange, because like I said, like, there's no like morality in this of like, what is the right thing to do. It's more like, which do I feel is the best thing for this child? You know, not like what's the right thing to do, but I don't know. It's a weird, like, it's kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of having a hard time like relating to the character or putting myself in the story, because it's like, well, there's like a process, like you can't just keep a kid you find, like, you know, I mean, go through an adoption process, but I understand like I don't know, there's a lot of hoops to jump through, and but like, that's not going to work out well, especially knowing he has parents. Like, I don't know. It's strange, but this counts for PE, which says like features an activity or something, and this is about swim. This is kind of a stretch because it's not really about swimming, but she swam to get him, and she's not a very good swimmer, but she did it for this little boy, and she's like instantly in love with this little boy. So anyway, 11 minutes of talking and rambling. I'm gonna go in and do some things and then go get my kids. So yeah, I'm gonna I've got this book on ebook, and so I'm gonna have Alexa read to me while I do like dishes and cleaning and stuff. So hopefully I'll get a good chunk done, and update you soon that I've finished it. Hey everyone, I am back. It is Saturday. The Readathon has ended, and I am just now updating because life has gone life-in on me. We've got 2 sick kids, and my baby had her 1-year shots, and y'all, those are not fun shots. They get 3, and 2 of them are brand new. Like she's never had them before, and so you never know when your kid has not had a certain vaccine, like if they're going to react or not. And she didn't like react, like she's not rashy or anything like that, but she got a fever and was just inconsolable that evening, and she also is cutting like a ton of teeth, and so combined with the other 2 being sick, it is just, and like my week-long migraine, I don't know if I'm the one that started this sickness or if it's something different. They're just super, like they just have colds, but they're like, it's just exhausting. It's exhausting, but I have still been reading. I just haven't had a chance to get on an update. So the readathon's over now. So I'm going to recap you on what I read before it ended. And did I accomplish my TBR? No, but I only skipped 1 class, and I feel like that, is pretty accurate for me as a high schooler. Like I mean, this is story time, but I was a really good kid. I was, part of the crowd that does all the things they're supposed to do, does all the sports, does all the things. And and yet it was like just a part of our culture that you skip certain classes and do certain things. And so, I don't know. I definitely skipped a class or 2, but anyway, I read Book Love by Debbie Tung, and this is so good. This was a 5-star book for me, and this counts for art class because it is a graphic novel. So I was reading a graphic novel, comic, or manga, I don't know. But Debbie Tung is one of my very favorite graphic novel artists and authors. And this is just an ode to book lovers. It's about what it means to be a book lover, what it feels like to buy new books, what it feels like to browse a bookstore, like all the things. I love this book so much. 5 stars. And then the last one is PE, which is like doing an activity, something with an activity, and I read Learning to Swim by Sara Henry. And this one I did not like at all. I didn't like it. 2 stars. The premise of this book is, I might have already talked about this, I can't remember, but is that a woman is going out on a ferry. Yes, I did talk about this. She's going out on a ferry and sees the incoming ferry or another ferry, sees something fall off of it. She can't tell what it is, doesn't know what it is, but she jumps off the ferry, despite not being a great swimmer, to go rescue what she thinks is a child. So gets it. Yes, it is a child. It is a young boy who will only speak French. And so I was wrong in my last clip. I said she calls the police, and she doesn't right away. She goes to try to amateur sleuth it and try to figure out what happened, or who this boy belongs to, and if she should give him back. And I don't know, you guys. This is classified on Goodreads as a mystery thriller, and I guess I would say it is. It's kind of like a cozy mystery, but it's a lot darker and less charming. And so she goes to try to figure out who this boy belongs to and what's going on, because she suspects that his family is involved in some stuff, because he said that he heard his mother be killed. And so, long story short, it gets into like this kind of crime ring situation that you guys know I'm just not a fan of, like the big crime ring situation. And so I don't know. This just was like not it for me. I got bored. I got unattached. There's like she falls in love with this boy like immediately, which is fine and very valid. She also kind of falls in love with his dad. There's just like so many things too that did not make sense. Like I just couldn't. So this is told in first person, and I think that was definitely to the detriment of this book because all we see is what she sees, and all we know is what she knows, and like this. Where the plot goes, it goes into this huge web of things that like there's lots of characters, lots of players, and I feel like we needed a more like objective stance of like what's going on, not just what she thinks and sees, because what she thinks and sees amidst all this is really boring and redundant. So I didn't love this book, and bummer way to end it. So the class that I skipped was math, which is a book with a number in the title, and I was going to read number 2 in Second Chance, which is number 2 in the Women's Murder Club series by James Patterson, but I didn't get it done in time, and so I skipped math. Bummer, but that is it. Thank you for watching this kind of messy week. It has been a fun one, but did you participate in this readathon? If so, what was your favorite class? And let me know, like, what was your favorite class in school? Honestly, I actually really like math. My college, my undergrad is in education with an emphasis in math and physical education. So ironic, but math is the subject I skipped. But you guys, I love the like objectivity of math, and because like as an anxiety sufferer, as a mom, as a worrier, as all the things, it's like I never know if I'm doing things right, and I always question everything and I overthink everything. But in math, it's black and white. You know if you're right or wrong. Like, and I crave that. Unless it's like geometry, then I don't need that. I don't have spatial awareness enough for that. Like, no, I don't need geometry. But give me some algebra. I am there for it. I will do all your workbooks. I love it. So anyway, that's that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll stop talking. We'll see you in the next one.